Hi everybody, Simon Chapple here. I'm the Quit Alcohol Coach, and today we're going to be talking about 6 tips for stopping drinking. And I'm joined by a really awesome guest who's going to share some of his own tips. It's Leon Sylvester, who's another YouTuber. He's got a really awesome channel which I've shared in the description below, and he's also the founder of Soberleon.com, and he talks about living your best life without alcohol. So we're going to go through some tips. There's 6 of those tips to stopping drinking. If you enjoy what you see, please subscribe to the channel. There's new videos every Tuesday and every Thursday, so I don't want you to miss out. Just hit the subscribe button below. But without further ado, let's get straight into those tips. So my first tip is to educate yourself. Now, you wouldn't take up a new hobby or a new sport, for example, tennis or playing cricket, without practicing. You have to practice. Quitting drinking is like learning a new skill. You need to educate yourself to know how to master it. And that was exactly what happened for me. I tried so many times to quit drinking on my own, just using willpower. Guess what? Every time I ended up back at day one. I felt like a failure. I was beating myself up. The key for me was starting to learn. I started to read sober books. I started to check out podcasts, look on blogs, and join Facebook sober groups. I followed sober Instagrammers and YouTubers like Leon, who's going to be sharing tip number 2 in just a moment. And that really helped me. I started to learn tactics. I started to feel like I had support around me and that I was part of a really awesome community. Rather than feeling like I was being deprived of something, I felt like I joined something really special. And that was a game changer for me. I felt like this is the life I want to lead. I want to be part of this. And that feeling just changed of I've lost something, I haven't got wine in my life anymore. Now I had something special in my life that was healthy and allowing me to be the best version of me. So make sure you educate yourself, you learn, you have tactics that work for you, you build a sober toolbox of those tactics and tools so that you know you can use those when you experience discomfort and you might be in the middle of a craving. You've got something you can turn to. So without further ado, right over to Leon for tip number 2.
Hey guys, Leon here, and thanks so much for having me on your channel today, Simon. I'm super excited to be here. Hello everyone on Simon's channel and everyone in the Be Sober group. So the first tip that I've got for you today is to go straight into building a better life for yourself. What do I mean by that? I mean that when you stop drinking, it can't just be about stopping drinking, right? So usually what happens is people get to a point in their life where they've had enough. They're tired, they just are sick of alcohol dominating everything that they do. And they get to this point and they realize, right, something has got to change. And these people will then, look for solutions. So that might mean reading a book. It might mean watching a YouTube video. It might mean hiring a coach. It might mean, going to AA. It might mean going to willpower. It might mean any of these things. And all these things are absolutely fantastic. This can get you started on the right path. But the real trick is once you've done that, is then what do you do? It's the future. You've got to start focusing on the future. You've got to kind of see a vision of why you need to get rid of alcohol. Why do you need to get rid of alcohol? It's because you want a better life for yourself. You want a better life for your business, for your finances, for your health, for your family, for your friends. You want to do all these things, and that's what you've got to focus on next. What I personally did is because, I tried everything to stop drinking. I tried willpower, I tried AA. The only thing that worked for me was educating myself and then looking into the future and seeing, right, this is what I want to do with my life. Alcohol is the one thing holding me back. So I got rid of the alcohol. And then after a few days or a few weeks, I felt this rush of euphoria that I realized the life of my dreams is actually in grasp now. Now I've gotten rid of alcohol, I can actually go for it properly this time. I can really, really push and I can go back to the gym and become a personal trainer. And now what happened is I moved to Thailand and I moved to Chiang Mai and I literally live the life of my dreams now. And the only reason that happened is because I got rid of alcohol and I started going towards a better life.
Thanks, Leon. So the third tip is that you should journal. It's so important. Take a selfie at the beginning so you can see what your face looks like. Weigh yourself. Get that information down in your journal. Now, not everybody likes journaling. If you don't like writing it down, you can use the voice memos on your phone, or you could video yourself each day, or you could even type it in the notes on your phone. But it is important that you gather data about how you're feeling. If you don't like writing out reams and reams of handwritten notes, you could even just keep a daily score of how your mood is, how your anxiety levels are, how you feel generally, the good things, the bad things, and you could just score it out of 10 and keep it really simple. Whereas if you prefer to express your feelings and get them down, write as much as you like. My journal was packed with information. In the end though, I got kind of tired of just handwriting everything out, and I started my own blog, which has now turned into the Be Sober website and has become an awesome place where people can find information, learn the tactics that worked for me, and a whole lot more. So definitely get yourself a journal. Don't go into this unprepared. Journaling can be a massive, powerful tool on the journey to freedom and quitting drinking for good. So now, right over to Leon for the next tip.
So the next tip that I've got for you is not to dwell in the past. Now, there are some ways that you can quit drinking that will have you dwelling in the past. They're going to make you, focus on the mistakes that you made and all the bad things that you've done. And okay, for some people, that is probably a good idea, but dwelling in the past and worrying about the mistakes that you've made, sure, maybe a few apologies here and there is something that you might want to do. But keeping the focus on the past is not the way to go about it. It's all got to be focused on the better future, right? Because the person that you are right now, if you're focused on a better future and doing good things in the present moment, that's how you're going to fix the problems that you may have created in the past. But dwelling in the past and always thinking like, it was so hard and I'm sorry, but that's just not the way to go about things. The right way to go about things is to think, okay, the future's great. The future's going to be good. Now I've gotten rid of alcohol, I can really start building the life of my dreams. And I think it's just a really important thing. And I've done it in the past where I dwelled in the past, right? I stopped drinking and I just kept thinking about the past and, oh God, I can't believe I was like that. Do you know what? Screw it, I don't care anymore. I've kind of gotten rid of that version of me. Instead, I created a new identity that's focused on a better future and focused on doing good things with my life. And yeah, it's just a big tip. It's try not to dwell in the past. Try to think about that, like I said in the previous tip, try to think of that future, try to think of that vision and go towards that better life.
So the fifth one is to explore your beliefs and look at your mindset. This kind of sounds a bit out there and a bit woo-woo, but it is so important. When I was drinking, I believed that alcohol helped me relax, that I couldn't have fun unless I drank. These beliefs were completely untrue. Of course, at the time, I thought they were absolutely true. But it turns out they were beliefs that were limiting me. They were holding me back from being my best self. So you need to get those beliefs down in writing. What are your beliefs? Write them down. Do you believe that you can't have fun without drinking? Do you believe that alcohol really helps you relax? Now, alcohol is a drug. Drugs have to have an upside, otherwise we wouldn't take them. We wouldn't keep going back. But with alcohol, the upside is only a very short period of time. We feel an initial sense of relaxation, maybe for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. After that, for me, it was a slippery slope where I would become moody, I'd be snappy with people, I'd end up having an argument with my wife or my son. And that's not even to mention falling up the stairs, being sick, tossing and turning in bed all night because I couldn't sleep, waking up with a hangover, not being productive at work the next day. You get what I'm saying. So it's 45 minutes of relaxation in return for 24 hours of heightened anxiety, regrettable behaviour and feeling generally crap. So actually look at the evidence around the beliefs. Be a bit like the defence and prosecution when you're analysing what your belief is, and then make a new healthy belief statement that reflects the absolute truth, which in that example would be, alcohol helps me relax for around 30 minutes to 45 minutes, but after that, my anxiety and stress are much worse. It's not worth the trade-off. I often look at alcohol a bit like a payday loan company. Let's say you were desperate for money and I lent you $100, but tomorrow you've got to pay me back $1,000. Now, in that moment where I give you the $100, you feel a sense of de-stress and happiness because now you've got some money, you feel great. The next morning, it's going to be taking back way more than it gave. You're going to be feeling really stressed out. You're going to be worrying. You're going to be concerned that the debt collector's going to come knocking on your door. Alcohol is exactly the same. It takes away so much more than it actually gives. But you're only going to discover this by taking a break from drinking and gathering the data, getting the information down, learning and understanding that everything myself, Leon, all the other sober YouTubers, bloggers, and people on Facebook and Instagram are telling you is absolutely true. We can't all be lying. I never hear anybody say that they're unhappy being sober. I only hear people complaining who are still drinking. So now on to the final one and back to Leon.
And guys, the sixth tip that I've got for you is to aim to get 1% better each day. So that means that you're not going to overwhelm yourself, right? So you may have been drinking for a long time. It might have been 10, 20, 30, 40 years. It could have been a very long time. So when you stop drinking, and if you listen to the things that I say and you think about building a better life, you know, that can look like a big mountain. And I'll give you an example. I have a friend at the moment that's actually starting a YouTube channel. And he's like looking at these big channels that have got 500,000 subscribers. And he's like, well, why aren't I like that? And then he'll post a video and he'll only get 10 views. And he'll be like, why am I only getting 10 views? And this is the thing is, he's not focused on just getting a little bit better each time. Rather than looking at the vision of creating a YouTube channel, he's looking at it like it's a very big challenging thing, rather than just focusing on a little bit better, little bit better, little bit better, little bit better. And then once he's done that for the next 3, 6, 9 months, he'll look back and not even recognize who he was when he started the journey. This can go across in all areas of life, especially when stopping drinking, because you're going to start wanting to rebuild things. You're going to start wanting to rebuild your work or your relationships and so on. But the trick is just to start small. It's to do a little bit. It's to aim to get 1% better each day, because that compounds, right? Because in a year's time, when you've been getting 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, the 1% better version of you a year ago and the 1% better version of you in a year's time, it compounds. So those 1% get even bigger as time goes on. Might not make so much sense, but yeah, it's like the goal of stopping drinking should be about trying to improve your life. Like that's the point that I'm really trying to hit with you guys. It's not just about stopping drinking. It's about trying to build a better life for yourself. And that is where, true happiness lies without alcohol. It's the best thing that I ever did in my life by far. Stopping drinking has completely changed everything. I've gone from broke, homeless, losing jobs, losing relationships. I've been in the absolute shit before. And all that's changed. And all that changed because number one is I stopped drinking. And number two is I went towards that better life. And if you're struggling at the moment, it is possible. If I could do it, like anybody can do this. And yeah, just keep in there. Thanks so much for having me on the channel, Simon. And yeah,